I don't love having the isopropyl in the background. Everything else messy can stay, but that was kind of like, here's my bottle of rubbing alcohol. All right, hi everybody. You never know. Are we gonna do a live first and then a premiere, or a premiere first and then a live? We're doing a live first and then a premiere. Sorry, I'm getting my second device set up here so that I can see everybody when they get here. I didn't give a lot of notice that I was going today, so it'll be a minute. A Privilimir. 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 Something like that, yeah. Ah, Ma is here too. So hello, Ma, and hello, Lava Bison. Cheers and happy Wednesday, everybody. Well, for the Karens and the, Rockhound, holy cow, how come I can't remember Kyle's handle? It's still morning for them over on the far west. Jennifer's here. Hello, Jennifer. And Les is here. Hello, Les. So I've been like super busy. Just to remind you, like last week, I'm just gonna scooch those aside. They're still sitting here from last week. I was really busy last week too, and it's summertime, so it's time to get out and about. And as you guys saw, I went out and did the Indian relay races over at the Browning Indian Days. That was a blast. I love the Indian relay races. That's just insane to me when they switch horses, and then like, holy cow, it's so intense. So I went and did that and visited all the little vendors that were there. There was a gal from Missoula, pardon me, who was doing some stonework. And I had just a minute to chat with her. I didn't want to totally take her ear because she was there to make some sales and stuff too, but she was doing some stonework, and I was like, are you doing the silver work too? And she's like, maybe. Hi, Jeff. Maybe someday, but not quite yet. Anyway, I browsed her stuff. It was fun. She had a lot of labradite, which so do I right now. I was like, maybe because it's because it's easy to work. Calypso, welcome. So last week I was kind of dogging on this rock. I was like, I don't know, it feels crumbly. When I took it out of the saw, it felt like the edges crumbled, and it felt maybe not, kind of sandy and not stable. And as the show went on and the more I showed it, I actually cut it, right? Like in the saw, it felt gross. Like when it came out of the saw, I was like, I don't know about this. I cut it because I wanted to see all the tiny fossils inside of it, but it might just only be really good for looking. Sorry about my wound, by the way. It might only be really good for looking at underneath the microscope. It might not be good for jewelry. Like, I was dogging on it at first. And the more I handled it on last week's show, the more I was like, maybe I should give it a try. I mean, even just listen to it. It's hard, right? Romania's here. Hello, Romania. So I said in last week's, I love this. Look at the little friends in it. I said in last week's live that I was going to, in fact, go give this a try, right? And I like to keep my word as best I can. But I did, in fact. I did take a piece of this and try cabbing it. So here's your tiny samples first. Here's your tiny taste first. And of course, we'll flip around and look. Mr. Turtle, welcome. I think we'll probably look at this under the microscope too, if it'll behave for us today. This piece. You guys. Can you believe I was dogging on this material? Come on now. That's some pretty stuff. Can't even get it to show it's so shiny and pretty. Oh my goodness. So pretty. You guys, how do you crimp them so well? I took a note out of Ma's book, and I carved a little groove in the edge and then sank the wire into the edge. That was my first try at that, by the way. Yeah, I probably had some room for improvement there, but I sank the wire into the edge and then grabbed it with the tool and just cranked it shut. You can see my sloppy work up on the top. But because my line up on the top was a little bit crooked, I used that to my advantage because the wire does want to go crooked when you twist it. So I just made sure to go ahead and twist my wire with the crooked cut that I made in that direction, you know. So you can still see some of the little fossils on the edge. But OMG. Yeah, so it's definitely not coming out of there. That wire is stout, and I gave her hell. This one, on the other hand, this one took a little bit more, you know, craftsmanship to put in there. But basically, when I cut this rock, it was just a smidge bit, sorry, my wound. I'll try to not flash it around. Was just a smidge bit too big for my saw. And so the next slice after this had an even bigger nub that I had to, you know, after I run it through on my vise, I have to then turn it and come back and try to get a nice straight approach at it. And that's, you know, sometimes easier said than done. But if you can imagine that, you know, this piece was the buddies with this one to the next one out, right? And sorry, my wound. This one came from the little saw nubbins end that I had to trim off to get back to a flat surface because my little saw was too little. So if you can imagine, this was the next slice after this. Boop, boop, be doop. So I have a little end nub. And still quite a big, like, I quit cutting this. I was like, ew, it's gross. It's not going to make good jewelry. How big's a smidge? Well, a metric smidge or a standard smidge, Mr. Turtle? That is the question. So I do want to turn us around, and I even want to maybe even jump into the microscope and have a closer upper look at some of this, because I can't believe how pretty it turned out. A British smidge. A British smidge is probably just a little bit bigger than, you know, most smidges. Let's see if we can do this first, because you guys can see. You've seen the rock, you know. We looked at it last week too. Oh, before I do the turnaround thing, I find these rocks pretty much all over the place. Again, this is the one that the jewelry came out of. Here's his little brother. Really, I should have it turned around even just to show you this. His little brother. There was no waste there, right, Jennifer? And his crazy cousin. So now that I know that those make pretty jewelry, I'll be bringing them home and chopping them up. Okie dokie. Let's find a black background because that's always super helpful when we're looking through the microscope. More slabs and smidges, exactly. So like I say, now that you've seen the rock, let's go ahead and put you in the microscope. Boop, in there. I know it's okay. YouTube's like, the orientation is locked. Rotate your device back the other way. I'm like, yeah, it's really not that fully rotated, so settle down. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? It's a rotate your device back. Your orientation is locked. It's okay, YouTube, it's okay. It's okay. Up, down. Holy shamoly. That would have turned into a big heart for you, huh? Well, maybe there'll be some of this material available or something, huh? If you guys are interested. I don't see any raised hands saying interested or anything, so I guess I'll just cut it and keep it. A smidgular. Oh, good golly. It was a party with all of our friends in this cab, right? Is 100 smidges a smidgel? A smudgel? A smudge? I can't even read the make-believe words. I want to so bad, too. Like, oh, gosh. Let's go ahead and flip her on over. Yeah, Turtle cracking us all up today. When I was looking at this one last week, I was totally in, sorry, my wound. Try to keep it out of your face. I was in love with this white one with the little circle around him and some of his little triangular buddies. And so I was like kind of sad. I was like, because if I cab this where he's at there, he'll be gone. I mean, unless that's the back, which is fine too, but oh, I love the color right there. Sorry, my wound. I love how it gets lighter on the edge there. That's a pretty straight shot. You'll get most of that in the corner of a cab. Oh, and this little like Bryazone guy that we have in here too, he's super cool. Jennifer. Yeah, so this is still a rough chunk because I didn't have the heart to grind away the little guys on the edge. I was like, I'll have to. And like I say, unless I push that to like the very edge and then dome the rest to get there, but it was just breaking my heart. So I started with the other piece and got the 2 cabs. The 2 tiny, you know, this tiny one. And the big pentagonal shaped one. Is it a pentagon? It's got 5, right? 5 is penta? Yeah, I'm totally in love with this material. There'll be more of this. And yeah, you can see, like, that one's kind of harder to see. This one, you can really see all of these little friends in here with your naked eye. Like, you can't see them in as good a detail as you can when we get zoomed in here. Look, there's the little beehive guy. But you definitely can see them. You know, you guys could see it in the thumbnail. That one right there kind of looks like an eyeball. That's kind of horrifying. Let's zoom in a little more. Enhance. That's creepy. Friend soup. I feel like we're not quite as in focus as we could be. There we go. Ew, they're kind of weird looking when you get even closer. Sorry, friends, I didn't mean to say ew about you. Okay. All right, Les. It's funny that Les should mention that because I was gonna tell you guys when I was joking about is this a pentagon because it has 5 sides on it, that when I was cutting and polishing this, I did the edges too. You know, the sides, the edges, everything. And that when I was done, Lava Bison took a turn after me on some other material. Aw, thank you, in fact. Lava Bison. I'll ring the bell for you. That when it was his turn, I was like, do you have any idea how many times I counted to 5 while I was doing this? Every time I'd come to smooth one of the straight edges, here's for Lava. Thank you very, very much. Every time I'd come to do either one of the straight edges or one of the corners, I would count to 5. Like every time I'd round the edge, I'd 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to where we started. Then I would turn it over and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'd go for the, like, stand it on its side and go 1, 2, 3, 4. That way I wouldn't keep track if I did that side already or not. And then you turn it around and you go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was insane. It was insane. Cheers to all of the weird stuff that happens in your head while you're cabbing. Mm-hmm. Right? Welcome, Chubby. So yeah, that happened. And then while we're all zoomed in and we're looking at this stuff, I want to flip you back out to the, there we go, to the not quite so zoomed in. And let's have a look at the cousin and the brother and the brother and the cousin of this that I flashed around earlier, because they're cool too. And we gotta come way up because this is a big old bulky rock. Jennifer, did I say hi to you? I think I did. That one right there looks a little bit like a little radioactive symbol. Okay, I was looking at this earlier because I was gonna have a premiere before the live, but it turns out we'll have a premiere after the live because I had quite a bit more editing to do than I thought I did. Let's do the thing where we get in here. Sorry, we gotta fix the focus. So, I was shocked to find in here this like Bryozone looking stuff. Because I thought it was just like prairie scuzz. Is it coral? Is it coral? Hey, coral, is that you? Or is it Bryozone? I honestly cannot tell. But it is up in there. And like I say, I tried washing it off. I thought it was the stuff that gets stuck all over our prairie rocks. No matter how hard I scrubbed, it just wouldn't come off of there. It's being held together by white. I have to look at it. I don't know what? I missed something. Is that why Ma insists on triangles can only count 3? And that's only funny to Lava Bison because he feels that Ma is much smarter than him. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not saying that Ma is not a genius, because she absolutely is. But there's certain times and places when Lava Bison absolutely amazes me. Hey there, Rufo. How are ya? Okay, come on, focus. Obviously, the part of the rock that we are trying to look at right now is not even. Goodness. I tried to swallow it down with my cheers, but obviously I still having issues. The other side of this rock is just kind of dirty. Okay, but there was, I was washing this rock off, and there's this little sticky outy thing here. I know it's not in focus. Let's see what we can do about that. This little sticky outy thing here. And I thought that it was like a piece of dirt stuck on there. Sorry, the focus. I do beg your pardon. If you'll just bear with me, I will try to fix it. And then I realized that there were some like little fossils and stuff in here, and so I stopped. It's like a little loose tooth in there now. Is it just a little piece of sand, or is it a bit of a friend? I wonder if I can get him out of there and we can examine him better. I thought I saw him wiggle earlier. Oh, he's in there. He's so in there. Okay. Well, I still can't identify him, but this caught my eye, and so I stopped scrubbing. Everything is backwards. Everything is inside out and upside down, and I'm gonna turn it this way and then fix the focus. Uh-huh. What friend is that? Anybody recognize that little friend? Prairie cement. Who is that friend? Oh, by the way, the other like one complaint that I have about the one that I made the cabochons out of is that it kind of smells like crude oil when you cut it and do like the really thick grinding on it. It smells kind of rancid. Yes, definitely get your tips from Ma. she does very fine work. Okay, apologizing. We're going to turn this rock over some more and see if we can focus on some of the other weird stuff happening in here. The phone's trying to do the autofocus thing again, so let's take it back out because it obviously dislikes that. Is that in focus? I can't tell because nothing in there makes any sense. Anyway, this is a chert. And that's just kind of the stuff stuck to it. I mean, he's in there. Our little friend is in there. But yeah, it's like a blue and white chert with little friends here and there. So that's an interesting, interesting rock. I don't exactly know what to say or do about that. Yeah, I usually do find the tiny friends in the like jasper looking stuff, and of course I've polished and played with tons of that, and I honestly like never ever tire of showing you guys some of that stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and wet this before I bring it up under the camera. And it's quite a ways up there, so let's come back down. Hey there, machine. Yeah, I honestly never tire of seeing the little tiny guys in the jasper. And I do apologize that once I get into micro mode, it's like micro mode. I can't quit looking. Where were they bestest visible over here? Ooh, that's too close. Excuse me. It's too close. There. Super pretty stuff. And then it's doing the bouncy thing. So I'm glad we avoided that. Excuse me, as long as we did. Come back out of there. Shut her down. Turn around for just a second. Okay. Cheers. My gosh, that is just wonderful. I want to show you some of the other stuff I've been doing too. And then I think we might play a little game. Okay, so I was getting ready to go to, you know, like festival days in the nearby town here. I was like, that would be cool. I should get some stuff ready and then sign up and have a table and sell some of this stuff. So I did this like really big push. So I did this big push to like finish out some cabs and some jewelry and get ready for this sale on the 25th and the 26th. And I no more than bust out all this jewelry. Here's a really pretty dino bone cab piece I did. Whoops. Sorry, I got a kink in the chain and I'm too OCD to allow that to happen. Okay. Did this dino bone cab that I did the other day. Kind of a fun little piece. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get some stuff ready, and I'll sell a bunch of, like, slabs and cabs. And this was my first try at doing the edges. But this wire is too thin to just be by itself, so excuse me, I had to twist it around and do some silly stuff. So I'm not super thrilled with this piece, but I mean, it's okay. It was an experiment to try the edges on this. I do mine on the saw. I don't know how Ma does hers. I thought about doing it with the Dremel, and Lava was like, you should probably use the saw. This piece, oh my God. Like I say, I'm just so in love with the labradorite right now. This is experimental wire wrapping. I have no idea if that's gonna stay in there and last. Like, I think it will, but I have no idea. So that makes me a little hesitant to sell that for, any kind of astronomical price. But the stone inside is just fan-freaking-tastic. Oh my goodness. Erd McGird. So pretty. Could maybe use the side of the drill bits in the Dremel. I have a little carving disc. It don't matter. The saw worked good. Excuse me, I cannot get it down today. There's a ground floating in there. I kind of want to pluck him out. At least I hope it's a ground and not a little extra protein. Sorry, I didn't get it. The saw worked good because I could balance the cab on the deck and then come in, very straight. So that might not always be super awesome. Like, I think I kind of struggled with that on this because I didn't cab this stone. Let's throw it on the thing because I don't need that. I didn't cab this stone. I polished it in the tumbler. And so the edges are there because I started with an edge. They went into the tumbler with an edge, but they're kind of smoothed and rounded. And so it, is really slippery up against the blade. And so that one was kind of tricky. But anyway, back to some of my, experimental stuff here. I'm so stinking in love. By the way, this is like super transparent too. You see the light coming through? Okay, anyway, I'm so in love with the labradorite. And I'm learning how to cut it so that, when you look right at it, it's lighting up. They feel like little jelly beans. They're so wonderful. I love them. I get a lot of, I think Lava's had better schiller, so we'll look at his in just a second. I get not only the labradorite flash, but the, like schiller almost in it too. Not so much like I say in these pieces. It's just so, so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Roger's here. He is. Roger, I was going to come to Pioneer Days this weekend and ask if you wanted to join me if I purchased a space, but we have a stinking show scheduled. The band has a show scheduled that weekend, and so I cannot make it. And I'm so kind of sad about it. Here's one that Lava did and that I wire wrapped. I like this piece a lot. I actually might keep this one for myself. It is so pretty. And this was his first try working it. Again, he doesn't have a whole crap load of cabs under his belt. These two are, oh, there is some, a little bit of that, like, silver sheen in this one. Let's see if we can get it to focus better. No, I can't get it to show. Not even. There it is. See the little silver flash in there? A little bit of it. All right, anyway. So, yeah, these two pieces were buddies, they were neighbors. You can tell they were friends. They kind of do the same. Oop, that is not tricky at all. Holy cow. Try to do that. Try to line up two labradites in mirror. Come on. They won't do it at the same time. There they are. You can tell that they were buddies. They almost look like butterfly wings. Let's see. I'll be right back. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one shows it. I knew there was one that showed it better. Yeah, I'm so sad that, like, I was thinking, yeah, it'd be cool. Like, I can spend the rest of the week here getting ready here, and then I could spend, like, the whole next week over there kind of getting ready. Look at all that, like, silver sheen stuff happening in there. Little pins and needles and stuff. And then, of course, it lights up. So I cannot take credit for this. This is, like, I'm sure, right up Ma's alley. I'm sure she's loving this. I can't take credit for this. I'm not this brave. I would never get all these lines to line up like this. This is Lava Bison's work. So good for him. I'm God, I cannot get it gone today. And I'm like, is it the ground? Did I swallow the ground earlier? Cheers. Let me see if I can get her down this time. It's in my nose too, so it's no wonder it keeps coming back. Yeah, so good for him. I would have, like I say, I wouldn't have been brave enough to try that on any stone, let alone a labradorite, but it worked and it's so pretty. Let's go ahead and flip it and see if we can still get the same color play. Oh my gosh. Good golly, Miss Molly, that's pretty. Oh my goodness. The back too. Whew. He did a good job. Yeah. I go for the jelly beans, you know. Mine are smooth like little jelly beans. And he's like, how about we give him some angle for the dangle? Sharp angles and edges. Like, he's so brave. I just don't know if I'd have... It's so cool to see, like, what two different artists do with this pretty much same material, right? I told him, too, I was like, I'm excited to see what you do with that. I want to see you do this. I want to see it. He didn't disappoint at all. I mean, I critiqued him a little bit lovingly. I was like, you know, just maybe I would try this now, you know, next time. He was like, yeah, I see that. So he didn't need me to tell him, you know, where you can learn to improve. I think probably are all our own worst critics, right? Like, I was gonna pick apart some of my wire wrapping. Oh, I did a, let's see. You know, like, is the little wire wrap down at the bottom absolutely perfect? Gosh, no, it's not, but you know what? I didn't do too bad on the rest of it, right? Like, was that the first thing you guys noticed was, oh my God, what a crap job she did down on the bottom? Probably not, right? It is something that I'm self-aware of, right? Like, everything else I'm kind of cool with. I wasn't super thrilled with the end on this one. It's okay, but you know, you were just about to mention it, Mr. Turtle. I bet you were. I bet it was really bothering you, like deeply. You know, you're gonna be your own worst critic on those little, fine little details. You know, could I have smushed those up so that they met just a little bit tighter? You know, what if this chain comes out of here? You know, is my stone really in there? Yeah, it is. You know, those kinds of things. You're your own worst critic, I think, when it comes to some of that stuff. But like I say, is it the first thing that you were going to mention? Probably not. Is it one of the things that'll probably drive me to insanity until it's out of sight, out of mind? Yeah, it probably will drive me insane. But if I don't, you know, say, hey, it's not gonna bother somebody. Somebody's gonna adore it just the way it is. Let's get it finished and get it out the door for sale so someone can love it. Oftentimes Romania is like, yeah, you know, sometimes I'm like, yeah, that didn't work out so well. And other people are like, oh my goodness. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I've taken an assortment. I just had a handful. Where'd they go? I've taken an assortment of stones or even finished jewelry into a coffee shop. So where we're all rock hounds and we all may have a preference, you know, is it the agates that you like? Is it the dino bones that you like? You know, do you like them fancy and crazy? Do you know, we all kind of have a preference for what, you know, is pretty to us, you know, or do you like the little fine filigree detail of the fossil rock, you know? But when you take rocks into like a coffee shop where people don't know rocks, it's amazing how like the most like blech, like generic rock that they could pick out of the bunch and they're like, that's my favorite one right there. And you're like, this one is? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, what? Why? So, you know, while we can look at and agree, you know, like that is cool. The way that that's cut is really cool. Like, when's the last time you guys saw a faceted labradite? You know, I mean, you know, how we can appreciate how, like, you know, between these two pieces, there was, I got it tangled up in its little display stand. And then again, almost between these two pieces, there was like zero waste on that. You know, we can like appreciate and stuff like that, but the rock people who are not rock people are just like, oh, that's a pretty rock. And sometimes it would shock you what they say is pretty. Sometimes gray and boring is exciting. Sometimes, exactly, Mr. Turtle. Yes, very much so sometimes. Some of our chert out here is, you know, and kind of, you know, I mean, is it the prettiest? Yeah, it's okay though. I mean, it's okay. And sometimes it gets little, you know, little agate bands and stuff in it, and you know, So sometimes, yeah, some of that more boring stuff can be super stunning. You just never know until you get into it. I'm trying so hard not to show you the amazing rock that's sitting right next to me that you'll see in the premiere later. Trying so hard not to show it to you. I pretty much showed you every gosh dang other thing. Sometimes big and gaudy is in. Oh my gosh, yeah, Lava Bison probably wants me to tell this story, right? So, like I say, we made it over to Browning Indian Days, and we were walking through some of the little vendors. I want to finish my coffee, but I see there's a lot of grounds in the bottom of it now. All right. The gal from Missoula, she had nice stuff, but a lot of that stuff is like definitely not a local vendor. They're definitely traveling around and doing all the fairs and things like that. So here they are with their stands and their stuff, and we're wandering in and out of each little stand, and some of them, sorry, it's my nose and everything today. Some of them, it's not fair because it was like, I swear, like 100 degrees out that day. It wasn't. It was probably more like 90 something. Lots and lots of sunshine that day, and then like the very next day it was cold here, and now my nose is running, and I'm like okay, anyway, so we're walking through all the little vendors, and some of them are like, whoo, they smell like incense and oils and all kinds of like hippie shit, sorry for lack of a better term. And in and out we go, and we wander into this one, and the guy's got like stuff hanging from the ceiling and everything. Like, it's such an overwhelming experience. Like, you're in there, and then like right in front of you is like all of these like extreme wire wrapping. I almost pulled my camera out and started filming, honestly. But Lava Bison, did you see the sign in the corner that said no filming, no photographing, no filming? Glad I didn't do that. He would have come undone. Let's see, where did I put the big ones? Okay, so it was funny. Gosh dang it, that's not them either. I just had them. Where'd they go? If they're up here, I'm gonna kick myself. They're right here. I swear this is not my first day. Please bear with me. Okay. So yeah, we walk in, and it's just like in your face. Like, it's like in your face, like all of this stuff, right? And I'm not even joking. Like, some of this stuff is so huge. And when Lava Bison first started trying to make cabs, like, I really try to not direct him. Like, I mean, I probably over direct from time to time when I'm like, do you have enough water in there? Is your saw blade sharp enough? Do you need a new blade? Do you need any more water? Blah, blah, blah. I kind of, but I try to not tell him like, oh, you need to pay attention over here, make sure your bezel, I let him do. He's watched you guys, he's learned, I try to let him. So, yeah, I saw that over his feathered ear cuffs and assumed it was only those, but yeah, the whole tent photo restriction makes sense. He says, like, yeah, let's not push it. Anyway, so some of the first cabs that Lava Bison made, he was like, I have no idea why I made them so enormous. Like, they're huge, he says. He did good work, though, darn good work. So we walk into this tent, and it's like this thing, only like, I'm not joking you, it's so much bigger. So it's like a stone shaped and huge, and the wire wrapping on it, and then like, and then it had like a probably more like rounded one wrapped up in top. Like these things were, that thing is slick. These things were enormous, like, and Yeah, there were some there that were just so ridiculous. It was hilarious. Like, we were laughing so hard, like snickering under our breath. Like, who does this? Like, can you, like, perspective wise, like, that's the actual size. Like, if you would have hung this stuff on your body, and then plus all the wire, you know, and more beads and more gaudy stuff wrapped into the, it was something else. And I was like, gosh, like, it gave us a new I have a tough time making small cabs. I want to incorporate all the beautiful patterns into one piece. Yeah, no kidding, right? I agree. Like I say, I didn't want to chop the cool little fossil guy. He's my favorite one, the little round one with the round inside. But he definitely has to come out of there if that's going to get cabbed, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I'll cut more slabs. I'll turn this rock over and cut it the other way. You know, the slices this way now. So, sort of like super huge belt buckles that you see. Yeah, Jennifer, it was just like, what in the hippie stuff is happening in here? But it was funny because, like, you see it and then you realize, like, it can be done, and there maybe the market for that isn't you, me, or, you know, hey, Chubby Hubby or Ryan, or, you know, that might not be, you know, Ma's cup of tea, Jennifer's cup of tea, but there's obviously somebody out there who makes and buys this kind of stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, we were like, Joseph's cousin runs a little, well, you know, a little hippie shop. And I was like, we should make her some big bling and see if it sells in her shop. I mean, we have the pieces. Like, we should ask her, would you be interested in this? She'd probably be all over that. But yeah, it was interesting. Like I say, I thought about filming there for about half a second, and then it was like, you know, the third tent in, and I'm like, wow, it's just like a sensory overload. And I look in the back corner and I'm like, yeah, no cameras. I love belt buckle size cabs, says Roger. See, and I like them super teeny. Like, I don't mind a really petite, you know, I got the power, you know, statement-y piece. I can't get it to flash. Probably again because the light's behind it, but come on. No, I just ain't gonna do it for us. Yeah, I don't mind a super tiny technical little statement piece. I mean, I'm just not a huge person, and so to put huge bling on me is kind of, it feels weird. You know, I like them to be just a little bit more dainty. Sorry, my wound. Get him out of camera for you. I like my stuff to be just a bit more dainty. I mean, I don't mind when I'm getting dressed up and going out and doing things to, like, I put this one on last night and I absolutely fell in love with this one. I was like, I might have to keep this one. And it's a little bit bigger than I usually do, but I like the way it wears. I like the way that Ma's necklace wears too. Did you notice, Ma, did you watch the for members only Indian relay race? I was wearing your necklace that day. And so then when I was talking to the lady from Missoula who was doing her work, I was like, check out this cool stone. And she's like, oh my God, that's beautiful. And I'm like, my friend did this work. Oh, that's kind of a good idea, Ryan. I do like that. Yeah, that's kind of not a horrible plan. I like I say, I don't horribly hate that idea. I like this piece he made too. That was another one of those rocks that looked ugly and then was kind of pretty. It's all right, yeah. See, it was just kind of like, meh. And it turned out to be super kind of pretty. Who knew? Who knew? I did not know. So yeah, change of plans. We are not going to the sale, to the Lewis and Clark Days sale, and instead are going to Ennis and then to the private party on the Madison. That's where I got super sunburned last year. But I did find some good rocks. Is a big hole drilled in it. You're probably right about that, Jeff. That's like, or like those would be easy enough to do the grooved edge thing and to give like a nice gaudy top to, you know, or even the flat. The flat gets a nice big top when you use the flat wire. So yeah, there's definitely options there. That is definitely, Ryan says, maybe not for jewelry, but you could also wear the larger ones as some other form of piece of art. Well, that was definitely what they were doing after they had, like, you know, a whole spool of wire. And like, you know, it wasn't just one big cabochon either. Like I say, big, like by the time you put it on, it would have looked like that big on your body. It wasn't just like one big cabochon either. It was like, you know, and one on the top, and then, you know, like there were usually multiple stones wrapped up in there. It was pretty wild. Yeah, bolos. Yeah, like rapper bling. Like, that's exactly what it reminded me of, Ryan. Like Flavor Flav with this clock. Like, I'm into rocks. Can you see my rock? Like, I like rocks. We're like the biggest rock you've ever seen. Can you tell? I like rocks. It was, yeah, it was kind of like that. And I was like I say, we were kind of snickering under our breath a little bit. Oh. So let's see. I want to do kind of something random. Oh, Turtle, thank you. I want to do something kind of random. Let me pick something that this little guy here. Okay, I'm going to shake it for Turtle. Good golly. What do you do? 20? 20, 50? My gosh, they're still going. Rufo. 20. Thank you, Turtle. Look at them go. Look at all those awesome new members we have. Yeah, man. Make that bell ring. So let's see. What was I just thinking? Price and dice. So just, you know, let's say this piece, what would the price be if you were going to take this one to market? Tara, welcome. It's got a little bit of a mismatched clasp, but not horrible. Anyone see Sonia around? Maybe it's been a second. Thank you, Turtle. Yeah, so price this bad boy. Little fossil-y rock. Anyone? 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 What would you charge if you were going to take that to sale? Cute little fossil. 30, says Machine Head. Oh, out of focus. Scott says thanks. I know it's out of focus, but I'm just waiting for some answers. 30 is the only answer. No one else has any input. It's probably, I have to look. It's copper and maybe a little bit of aluminum. Roger. All right. Well, we're gonna take your local price on the equation here. Now the auction here was going about a mile a minute. And I said, "Hey, pretty stone, how much are you worth?" "I'd pay this much to make you mine, oh mine." Going once, going twice. For what dollar amount should I charge on this stone? Did you like that? Improv of the auctioneer. Right on, machine. Yeah. Oh, that's a big deal though, Ryan. Like for real, like it's so like ridiculous. Sold for the rest of the day, Tara. Sorry. Yeah, you'll never get paid full price for wire wrapping or rock working, right? Like even if you charged like minimum wage, like old minimum wage, like $9 an hour, it's like, boy, that tallies up quite quick when you consider that, you know, I cut the piece and then I shaped it and then I wire wrapped it and blah, blah, blah. You know, the price of the chain, the price of the wire, the price of the time, the saw blades, you know, all of that stuff, you'll never get compensated for completely. Oh, gosh. Roger's right, though. It depends on the market area. All right, well, but I just want to play and have fun. So instead of market value price, I want to play a game and have fun and get some of the jewelry out. So that's the piece I picked today. And oops, where did it go? There it is. And we're going to do like a scream and deal fun game. Like, how's about the round even price of $25? How about 20? 20, and that includes your shipping and handling. You won't get a tracking number on your shipping and handling, but because I'll ship it for like super cheap. But let's go for 20 even. It's the flavor. Be sure you refresh. Like, in fact, it's all jacked up because I just messed up my keyboard doing that, but make sure that you're live. So if you're willing to pay $20, and most of you here know how to get in touch with me, and if you don't and you're interested in playing the game and you're willing to pay $20, like I say, that includes the shipping and everything, just $20 even. If you're willing to throw down $20 to participate in today's game and be the winner for $20 of this piece, then pick a number from 1 to 6, between 1 and 6. Literally We're going to play a game. I think I can ship this because it'll fit through a mail slot. I think I can ship it for like $2. Like I say, you will not get a tracking number with that, but I've shipped that way before and they've arrived alive and everything was fine. So pick a number between 1 and 6 if you are willing to pay, what did I say, $20. Duplicates don't matter. Like, if you also want to pick 4 or 6 like Ryan and Ma have, then that's fine. I just spent my $20. Turtle, throw your number in there. Maybe you'll be the winner and I'll call that a deal. How's that sound? I'd call that a fair trade. Put a number in. And if you're in there, then we'll call that a fair trade. Yeah, except no, it has to be 1 through 6, Mr. Turtle. There's only 6 sides on my dice. 2, there you go. So far we have 4, 6, and 2. Oh yeah, I like that. True. Mom was like, you can't have a number. And she picked 4 because 1 and 3 equal 4, right? Roger says he'll play. He'll throw 6 in there. Is that everybody who wants to play? Knew it, Ma. Okay, so there's a couple numbers in there. There's a couple 6s. There's a 4. I thought I saw a 2 in there. Yep, a 2. If that's everyone who's willing to play, has their number in, then we're going to go ahead and roll the dice. And see who's there. And if it's a 6 and we have, like I say, we have 2 6s. If it's a 6, then we'll ask the guys who picked 6 to go ahead and pick another number and we'll do one more roll. Hopefully that'll separate the 2. But yeah, let's go ahead and see who's closest or maybe even right on when we roll the die. And you are so predictably. Oh, here we go. Wishing all of everybody who's involved really good luck. Giving everybody your last chance to get a number in there if you feel so inclined to play. All right. Ready, set. That's not fair. It didn't land on screen. That's okay. I don't even have to touch it. 3. Number 3. So we have 2 and 4. So, but no 3. So we're going to re-roll. Since 3 doesn't do us any good. 4. There it is. Is that a Ma? Was she the only one? Looks like 2 to me. Turtle, you're funny. Was Ma the only 4? Oh, you guys are great. Right on. Sweet. Yeah, I'll get that in the mail for you, Ma. Get 2 dices. We could if we had more, if we had a need for 2, like if we had 300 people watching in here or something and we needed to have more numbers or more, combinations or whatever. But for the small group that we have here, That was a fun way to play. I liked that. That was fun. We'll have to do that again. Right on, Ma. You get to enjoy the tiny little fossils. See? 13 and then the, you know, the 1 plus 3, 4 combo. Like, it is crazy lucky. Like, how do you do that? Yeah, please, Ma. Like I say, that's even dollars. That'll cover your shipping too. Yeah, congratulations to Ma. That's a good one. And it's short, Ma. I hope that's okay with you. I mean, it's not choker short or anything, but pretty short. But yeah, great little piece. 20. I said 20. Like I say, 25 was probably market value, but like I say, I want you guys here to have, you know, I want to play and have fun. Not at a total loss or anything, but I want to play and have fun with you guys. And I was like, this is fun. Let's play some dice games. And like, you guys are willing to gamble just a little bit. And, you know, that, and nobody really loses, you know, like nobody, you know, was like, oh, my internet just wasn't fast enough. And so I couldn't bid in time or anything. Like, it was just a set price and we pick a number and we roll a dice. Like, you're here, you're present, you're playing, and that was fun. So yeah, we may do some more of that along the way. I talked about kind of maybe doing a little bit of a sale here. It's like 9 p.m. out there. Is it still super smoky and gross for you? Ma won the Tiny Fossils necklace for $20. We played a dice game and she won. Yeah, congratulations. That's fun. It is funny too. Like, so like I say, stay tuned. We may do like maybe this one next week, you know, or something like that. So it was gross here. It was really weird here the other night. Lava and I were, you know, cabbing our little minds out because like I say, it was sunny, so hot and sunny. And Ma always wins. It's that lucky number. It was so super like hot and sunny at the relay races, and then the next day it was like cold and rainy, like super chilly and rainy. So we were just inside most of the day cabbing and cutting. And oh, we cut, let me show you too, one of my rocks that I found. It's, yeah, not particularly warm again today. It was kind of a nice morning, but I don't know about this afternoon. It's kind of cold and gray. Oh, by the way, should we do them all? Should we show them all? Yeah, why not? All right. So yeah, we were just kind of cabbing most of the night while we were chilling and watching TV, cutting and cabbing and stuff. And Lava was working on his stuff, and I grabbed the dump bucket and went to go outside and dump it. And I was like, it's really weird outside. You should come see. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, it's weird outside. Come see. Oh my gosh. It was raining, but also like super smoky at the same time. So it was just like extra weird. Like, I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, we cut this rock that I found. Uh-oh, there's a hair. a long time ago. Somewhere here goes the top somewhere. I don't know. And I've been really hesitant to cut it because I'm like, it's really pretty with its like little botryoidal bits and its little like agate-y looking bits. There was kind of like, I thought maybe a bit that kind of stayed behind the agate stuff. Maybe not. I was like, but what if I cut it and it's not pretty? I'd be so super disappointed. And so we went ahead and cut it anyway, and I'm not disappointed. Not at all disappointed. Oh my gosh, Ryan. I mean, yes, it does have some fractures, but it's also just darn pretty. Everything about this rock, it just is so sparkly. Like every which way, so sparkly. And then that like super fine, like, oh, it's so pretty. Look how sparkly it is. That super fine, like, detail-y looking. Drip, drip on the computer. Yeah. So, there it is, dry again. So sparkly. And then I turned it and it was like a different kind of little beast in there. It's so sparkly. Yeah, kind of wild, huh? Some of the little inclusions and stuff. Yeah, just a big, I don't know, big chert rock. Yeah, it turned out pretty. I was thrilled. I was like, well, I'm glad we cut it, you know. Sometimes I'm sad later. I'm like, it wasn't as pretty and it was prettier just as being a porch rock. But yeah, you could kind of tell from just the outside of this, like it had potential to be pretty. So we went ahead and cut it. So that was fun. What else? I feel like there was, oh, I cut some stuff. I cut a lace. Like I say, the weather was not nice. So we were in here like, yeah, let's see what we can get ready for sale maybe. Cut some stuff to make some cabs. I love the little juicy pocket on the edge of that though, so that's, I'm like, wow, I might have to make a cab where we can see the edges too. We'll see. We'll see. That one's fun. And I like this one because it's like the red and the yellow on this side, and then something happens and it's like green on the other side. Yes, I love the big Canadian saw. It's definitely been wonderful. Yeah, this is that rock that Lava's mom picked up when she was down in Arizona. These I did on the little saw, the little high tech. Some tiny little lace agate, Mexican agate, crazy. I'm not sure what you want to call it, what it is. You know, fancy stuff that she also picked up while she was down there. Yeah, and I'm glad, like I'm sure it's glad. You know, the previous owner's probably glad to see it be so adored and used. This one's fun. It gets a little bit of red. That one red line through it. The other ones didn't have that. So yeah, those are gonna be fun. I've got a, you know, a small handful of stuff to go play with. And yeah, some more stuff to, you know, to wire wrap and I mean, I could do that all stinking day and night and night and day and day and night and night and day. And just keep going and going and going. You know? Stop, take some time, you know, to make some more cabs and pretty things, and then shift gears and go make some jewelry. And rinse and repeat. A little dino bone. Pretty little bugger. So, yeah. There's definitely been some pretty rocks. Good job, Rufo. Ooh, gross. Jeff. It's honestly been, what's in my pocket? Oh, I had one more thing. What's in my pocket, I say? You guys want to see what's in my pocket? I know you do. It's been honestly like I say, a little bit. You guys see I'm in my hoodie. It's been a little bit like freaking burr. It's warm. Then in fact, probably time to open the doors and windows because it is warmer finally, but look at that big cloud back there. That does not look nice. Like there's just a heap of blue sky. But that cloud, that's the direction our weather comes from. That way. It does not look nice. Ooh, that one looks even grosser. And it feels like that's kind of maybe where the weather is coming from right now. Look at that gross gray cloud. Yuck. It's not been very nice. It's straight and nasty. Yeah, this is, I would way rather have this than, you know, feels like an oven blasting in your face. 65 feels like Greek goddess fanning my face with her angel wings. Turtle, you are wonderful. You're great. My blue flower is blooming right now. It's looking more, oh, there's like, it's looking blue. There it is too. Looks like the more mature leaves get the blue edges. And they're like periwinkle blue. Otherwise, they look a little bit purple. I mean, the edges definitely look, you know, a little bit blue, but boy, they sure are darker until they get good and opened. Josh is here. Right on. Yeah, so it's, I mean, no squinting needed today. It's kind of gray out there. Yeah, pretty cool. Mild weather. Oh, my yard berries are more than ready right now too, and I did pick a batch the other night and make some juice. Hopefully if I walk really slow, you guys won't lose service too bad. The birds are over here just having a heyday. So these are little currant berries. I call them yard berries because, you know, they grow in everyone's yard here. Like, almost everybody has some of these in their yard. And they're pretty sour to eat by themselves, and because they are so full of those little seeds, they're better for, it's making me drool, jams, jellies, and juices than they are to just like eat. I mean, you can definitely just eat them, but they're kind of sour. And like I say, the little seeds are kind of, you know, ho-hum in your face. So I pick them and make